As the 2025 NBA playoffs intensify, certain stars are elevating their games to legendary levels. From clutch shots to dominant performances, discover who stands out as the postseason's most valuable players. Outside of the two #1 seeds, who swept their respective opponents, NBA teams have treated us to some of the most entertaining, physical, nail-biting, and ridiculous first-round playoff series, maybe ever. With that have come some sensational individual performances. Here we rate them as our playoff MVPs. So far. And this should be an actual award, by the way, NBA. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. A playoff MVP ballot. Made up by me. Denver's margin of error is razor-thin in the first round against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Nuggets have been outscored by 23 points in a series they are tied 3-3. Even with Jokic on the court, they are scrapping for everything they get against a deeper team, outscoring LA by 13 points in his 248 minutes, which, over the course of this series, is apparently just enough to win 3 of these first 6 games. No player's impact on his team has been more valuable than Jokic's in the first round. Denver cannot afford to take Jokic off the floor, as the Nuggets have been outscored by almost a point per minute when the NBA's 3-time MVP rests. As it was during the regular season, take Jokic out of the game, and the Nuggets are something like the worst offense in NBA history. Put him in, and they are an elite outfit. What is more, Jokic is doing this against an opponent, Ivica Zubac, who was seemingly built to slow him down. In all likelihood, Zubac will make an all-defensive team, maybe even an all-NBA roster. He has the size and strength, at the very least, to keep Jokic from owning a series. Except Jokic is owning the series. Even a down game for Jokic in Game 5, just 13 points on 4 for 13 shooting, ended in a triple-double. He finished plus 18 in 37 minutes, mostly because he drew so much attention on the offensive end, freeing his pick-and-roll partner, Jamal Murray, to explode for 43 points. He even deserves credit for Denver's Game 4 heroics, as his gravitational pull drew both Zubac and Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers' 2 best rebounders, to the ball, leaving Aaron Gordon free to chase down the buzzer-beating, put-back dunk. What is most impressive about Jokic is his consistency. He is never not great, and you have to be that every single night to give your team a chance in the playoffs, especially when it comes to these Nuggets, who are getting nothing from their bench, as both Michael Porter Jr. and Russell Westbrook are battling injuries. If Jokic weren't the best player in the world, which he is, then Denver would be vacationing already. Edwards has been billed here as the smoothest basketball player alive, and he met those expectations as the best player in a series that featured Los Angeles Lakers superstars Luka Doncic and LeBron James. James is 40 years old. Doncic is not in his best condition, and the bounce in Edwards' step is real. The 23-year-old plays with an athletic freedom that allows him to get to whatever spot he wants on offense and keep an opponent from getting to his preferred location on the other end. Between Doncic, James, and Austin Reeves, there was no shortage of weak spots in LA's point-of-attack defense for Edwards to hunt. Having failed in isolation against Edwards through the first 4 games of the series, when he averaged 30 points on 45/43/83 shooting splits, the Lakers sent more help in Game 5, holding him to 15 points on 5 of 19 shooting, 0-11 3P. That may have prevented him from being #1 on this list. Still, Edwards calmly drew multiple defenders, finding wide-open shooters all over the floor. He finished with 8 assists, leading to 21 points in the closeout victory, though he had 16 potential assists, according to Synergy. It was a departure from earlier in the season, when Edwards complained of double teams, saying, "I don't know what to do, honestly." He does now, and that growth in his game is a scary reality for everyone else. Edwards' explosiveness on offense often overshadows his defensive effort. He spent the bulk of his time defending Reeves, who was underwhelming in the series and almost absent from the elimination game. Likewise, in the 14 minutes Edwards spent defending Doncic over 5 games, the Lakers scored a paltry 0.89 points per 100 possessions. He will bust you up on both ends, and he will let you know all about it. Had a wrist injury not cost Tatum Game 2 of Boston's first-round series against the Orlando Magic, a game the Celtics won, by the way. He, too, might be number one on this list. He was that good in 4 games, registering a player efficiency rating, 28.8, that ranks him as the NBA's leader amongst still active players. The Celtics outscored the Magic by 65 points, or by 21 points per 100 possessions, in Tatum's 156 minutes of the series. They were outscored by 1 in the 84 minutes he was on the bench. Essentially, Boston is either a dominant defending champ or in danger of losing, depending on if he is in the game. Orlando wanted this. The Magic deliberately defended Tatum and everyone else on Boston, one-on-one, switching everything and staying home on shooters to keep him from carving them up as a playmaker. So Tatum went about the work of dominating in isolation. We spent more time than anyone in these playoffs and scored 1.05 points per possession, best among those who isolated at a high volume. He still made plays, too, averaging 5.3 assists in the series and amassing 10 in the closeout Game 5, as the Magic tried sending more help. This came against the league's second-rated defense, a team that dragged the Celtics into the mud. The only one seemingly unaffected by the messy brand of basketball was Tatum, who, after the Magic won Game 3, collected 72 points on 49/47/100 shooting splits, 22 rebounds, 13 assists, and 4 steals over the final 2 games of the series to send Orlando packing. Very impressive. Celtics veteran Al Horford said of Tatum's ability to adapt his team-oriented game to a more individualized effort against the Magic. The thing that impresses me most, time and time again, when it's time to finish off a series, he goes to another level. And Game 5 was so impressive. We get him to a certain point, and then he knows what to do and just kind of takes over. It was pretty special to see. If Tatum maintains this level of performance into another conference finals and beyond, we may have to have a more serious conversation about whether he is the best player in the East, regardless of whether Giannis Antetokounmpo returns to the Milwaukee Bucks. Tatum simply has no holes in his game. We talk a lot about Curry's gravity, and yet we probably do not do it enough. The greatest shooter to ever live draws so much attention and moves so much, drawing that attention wherever he goes, that it opens up the floor to everyone else. And everyone else in Golden State's case is not the greatest shakes. They have Jimmy Butler, a playoff beast, and Draymond Green, a defensive dynamo. But beyond that aging core are question marks. Because of Curry, though, the Warriors elevate into a contender, one on the verge of knocking out a number 2 seed, because most anyone in the NBA can knock down open shots.